Hello guys, welcome to our channel Global Tech on Tube, which has now been renamed as Nota Bene Tech on Tube. I hope you're going to like the name. But right now what we are actually doing in this video is going to attempt a set of questions on our videos previously done on accountancy and finance in ACCA, and it's just it is just a continuation of the videos on standards, IAS, International Accounting Standards, and what we did in our first videos in the series of standards was IAS 2 inventories. And in this video we're going to handle some of the questions on IAS 2 inventories. So let's see what we have equipped ourselves according to the verbatim on IAS 2 inventories. So the first question is which of the following costs must be expensed under IAS 2? Cost of purchase that are paid to the suppliers of raw materials, import duties on raw materials that are paid to the authorities, and variable production overheads that are allocated to each unit based on actual usage, and selling and distribution overheads incurred in the ordinary course of business. So selling and distribution overheads incurred in the ordinary course of business must be expensed, because the very overheads and import duties are on the cost of purchase that are paid to the suppliers of raw materials. These are added to the cost of purchase. Selling and distribution overheads must be expensed. So yes, it is the correct answer. So yes, inventory costs should not include abnormal costs, storage costs, and administration overheads unrelated to production, selling costs, foreign exchange differences, and interest. Inventory should be measured at the lower of cost and net realizable value. That is the correct answer. Okay, Sticky Corp manufactures and sells adhesive warning signs for workplaces. The stock of signs was included in the closing inventory as of 31 December 2013 at a cost of $50 per pack. And during the final audit, the auditors noted that the subsequent selling price for the inventory at 15 January 2014 was $40 per pack. Furthermore, inquiry reveals that during the physical stock take, a water leakage has damaged the signs and glue. Accordingly, in the following week, Sticky Corp spent a total of $15 per pack for repairing and reapplying the glue to the signs. The net realizable value and inventory write-downs amount to: the net realizable value is the subtraction of at cost and the repairs spending. So the value would be 40. The selling price of the inventory is 40 minus 15. That would be 25 for the net realizable value, and inventory write down would be 50, and that would be, yes, it would be 25 and 25 respectively. That would be the correct answer. Net realizable value, you can see 40 selling price minus 15 and repairs cost 25, write down is 50 carrying amount minus 25 NRV, which is 25. So that is the correct answer. Which of the following items should be disclosed as per the requirements of IAS 2? Average holding period of inventories of the entity as at the end of the reporting period? No. List of major customers to whom the inventories were sold during the reporting period? No. Average lead time of procurement for major classes of inventories? No. Carrying amount of inventories pledged as security for liabilities? That needs to be disclosed. So inventory held in a different geographical location may use different cost models. False, they have nothing to do with the locations. And inventories include equipment used in the ordinary course of business, tangible assets lying in the store which are intended for sale. That is the correct answer. Let's see, machinery used in the production process which is for a sale, and not necessarily in the production process. Materials and supplies used for maintaining property, plant, and equipment. Intangible assets is not the question. So tangible assets lying in the store which are intended for sale. Inventories include asset held for sale in the ordinary course of business, finished goods, asset in the production process for sale in the ordinary course of business, work in process, and materials and supplies that are consumed in production raw material. Unallocated fixed overheads may be applied to the inventory valuation at the end of the financial period. May be applied to the inventory valuation at the end of the financial period. True. Yes, unallocated fixed overheads may be applied to the inventory valuation at the end of the financial period. Unallocated fixed overhead may be applied to the inventory valuation at the end. Yes, it seems to be true. False. Okay, unallocated fixed one must be expense. Sorry, it has to be expense. So that's, you can check as I'm doing right now. Thunder Limited had inventory with a cost of 10,000 at the end of the financial period 31 December 2013. It estimated that net realizable value of this inventory was 9,000 at 31 December. 1 week later, the inventory was sold for 7,000. If their financial statements were finalized on 14 February 2014, what value should be assigned to this inventory? So that would be 7,000, because it is the events after the financial period. So that even the periods before the end of the financial period tells tell us that yes, the inventory value has been decreased from 10,000 to 9,000, and at the end and after that it has been decreased to 7,000. So 14 Feb 2014, the value that would be assigned would be 7,000. So there would be no such problem. Was sold just 1 week after the inventory period. The change in the value confirmed condition existing at the end. Okay, so that as we have discussed. Which of the following items are excluded from the scope of IAS 2 inventories? Agriculture, heavy deal, and IAS 41. Which of the following costs are not included while computing the cost of purchase? All the costs except the recoverable taxes are not included. Any amount of write-down of inventory to net realizable value should be treated as a deficit. Any write-down of inventory should be recognized. It is a recognition of an expense in which the write-down occurs. That is, the second option is the correct one. And inventories are stated at lower of cost and net realizable value. That is the correct option. And Shaw & Co. imported raw materials from China worth 100,000. They paid 8,000 in import duties and 2,000 in import taxes. And the import duties were subsequently refunded by the local government. So that would be recoverable taxes. So that would not be included. They paid 15,000 for transportation. That would be included. 20,000 in power of handling charges. That will also be included. Marketing expense would not be included, and general administration overheads would also be not included. So the value would be 100,000 plus 8,000. That would be 108 plus 15,000. That would be 123. 123 plus 2 would be 125,000. That would be the value. The estimated selling price in the ordinary course of business less estimated cost of completion and estimated cost of sale is called the estimated selling price in the ordinary course of business less estimated cost of completion, estimated cost of sale is called the net realizable value. Okay, under IAS 2, fixed production overheads should be allocated to items of inventory on the basis of normal production capacity. Okay, that is the correct answer. Which of the following cost model is not permitted under IAS 2? LIFO is not permitted. And the selling price in article less any completion cost and cost of sale is called the net realizable value. Which of the following is not permitted as a cost of inventory? Obviously, the storage cost is not permitted as a cost of fixed manufacturing overheads. Storage cost must be included in the storage cost. It should be expense. It's not be included in inventory, I believe. Yes. Okay, fixed production overheads are those which are the indirect costs. Obviously, overheads needs to be indirect, and fixed production overheads mean the rent that we normally pay. So it is a fixed production over indirect costs that remain constant regardless of the volume of production. The first one is the correct answer. When actual production output is abnormally high, the fixed overheads allocated should be reduced. True, when actual production output is abnormally high, the fixed overheads allocated should be reduced. When actual production output is abnormally, the fixed overhead should be reduced. True. No, it should be false because the fixed overheads allocated should not be reduced. It should be proportion equally. True. This is to avoid the inventory being stated at more than its actual cost. Okay. Okay. Yes, abnormally high is the reason, because when it's abnormally high, you have to allocate it. You have to actually allocate the fixed overheads. You have to reduce the allocated fixed overhead. So that is one of the reason. I absolutely agree. Which of the following is allowed as a cost of inventory? All selling abnormal waste, no storage cost, no selling cost, variable manufacturer overheads, general administration overheads. Is the variable manufacturing overheads are normally allowed. Yes. All the else are not allowed. You can see in the explanation as well. General storage cost must be expense. False. General storage costs must be expense. Storage costs are expense, and general storage costs are normally added to the cost. They are not expense. I believe that is okay. Production, they must be expense. Okay, good one. Inventory excludes goods purchased for resale and finished goods produced, construction work in progress, raw material. Finish inventory exclude finish goods produced. Construction works in progress. Okay. Construction work. Okay, is IAS 11 construction. We haven't covered that standards. That's why I have actually attempted it wrong. But despite of that, we have attempted a couple of questions wrong. So that we need to check in, or you can actually check in by when you're going to practice by yourself. How are unallocated overheads treated as per IAS 2? Unallocated overheads are actually recognized as the expense. Okay, And by allocating fixed factory overheads on normal production levels, low actual production levels will result in greater fixed overhead allocation to each unit of production. By allocating fixed factory overheads on normal production levels, low actual production levels will result in greater fixed overhead allocation to each unit of production. By allocating fixed factory overheads on normal production levels, low production levels will result in greater low actual production level will result in greater fixed overhead allocation to each unit of production. False. I believe it's not correct. Because if actual production is lower than normal production, the fixed overhead allocation will be, if actual production is lower than the normal production, the fixed overhead allocation will be lower than if actual output rates were used. Yes. Nor be yes. Zippy Machines is in the business of procuring a specific type of machine and sells them to international markets. During the year, the company bought four machines costing 120,000, 140,000, 130,000, and 100,000 respectively. During the year, it sold only one machine for 140,000 and follows the FIFO method of valuation. Which of the following statement is true? The statement is that 120,000 FIFO first in first out. 120,000 would be one machine for one. Okay, one machine was sold for 120,000, and 140, 130, and 100 collectively added, that would be 240, 240, and 340, 340, and that would be 370. So 370 would be the cost of inventory, and the cost of sale is 120. Okay, yep. So it is 84.62%. That hopefully is quite a good one. So you can check the quiz by yourself. I hope that you're going to like our coming videos on standards as well. You can check it by yourself. You can keep revising or updating the your skill or the knowledge level. We'll just see you in our next video on quiz for the standards. Thank you very much. Take care and have a nice day.